But let's start with actually growing your account. Okay. Now there's a number of ways that you can do this with Manage Flitter. Okay, I'm just gonna skip straight to the best part, is with what we call power mode. Okay, now you can go to the search function and you can search for accounts and you can search for people's tweets and find people to follow that way. Okay, the much more targeted way to do this is by just going to the Manage section here, okay, and then power mode. Okay, so what is power mode? Power mode is a very advanced feature in Manage Flitter that allows you to take a follow source, right? So Ray Higdon's Twitter account, Eric Worre's Twitter account, you can take a follow source and then apply filters to it to find the most targeted audience to follow. Okay, so it does a lot of that analysis for you. Okay, so just to give you an example, all I have to do is click over here to create my filter. And it's going to give me a bunch of criteria that I can use to find the most targeted audience. All right, so let's just start from the top. I'll kind of show you how I construct my filters. The first thing you need to do is select your data source. Okay, and this is required because you need to tell Manage Flitter where to look for people first. Okay, so a couple of things that I do here. First, I want to see only people who I am not already following. Okay, so I click on this one. And the other one that I want to look at is people who are not yet following me. Okay, so that's the other one that I click. Now I can choose one of these four other options. Okay, I can either search by another account. So if I want to go Eric Worre, whoops, actually I just need to do this. Worre. Okay, I can find Eric Worre's audience. And it's automatically going to filter out anyone who I am already following or people who are already following me. Okay, the second option here, okay, is going to tell me how many accounts to pull in. I do up to 5,000, and obviously the more the more followers you want it to pull in, or the more accounts you want it to pull into the search, the longer the search is going to take. Okay, so I typically go with up to 5,000. The other way that you can do this, okay, so there are three other options here that I should talk about. You can also do a followed by function. Okay, so if rather than see who is following Eric Worre, okay, I could do this and see who Eric Worre is following and follow those people. Okay, so if I want to follow the same people that Eric Worre is following, this is the option that I would use. Okay, I could also do a tweet search. Okay, so I would type in a keyword here. Okay, like I could type in MLM, and I could find anyone who is tweeting about, who is creating tweets with the word MLM in it. Okay, so that's another way is to find people by what they are tweeting about. And then the neat thing about this is that if you've got a local business, you can limit this to a local radius. So for example, if I wanted to find people near Tulsa, okay, within a 50-kilometer radius, who are tweeting about I'm hungry. So let's say I have a local restaurant, right? And I want to find people who are saying I'm hungry near Tulsa. This is how I would do it, right? I can also do a bio search. Okay, so this is really cool. This is specifically searching the information that people put into their bios. Okay, so if I want to find grape bitty grape rep, okay, so people who are specifically saying I'm a grape bitty grape rep in their bios, I can find them this way. Okay, so that's another way to do it. Okay, so I'm going to just stick with the copying the followers of Eric Worre. Okay, that's what we call it when we follow the followers of another account, is copying the followers of. Okay, so I'm going to copy the followers of Eric Worre. Okay, I'm going to find people who are not already following me, people who are who I am not following. Okay, and then I'm going to go down to the additional criteria. So I want people who are actually active. Okay, and if you hover over these, it gives you kind of a definition here, right? That little gray help box pops up. Okay, anyone who has tweeted at least once in the last 30 days. Okay, so I want that. Okay, I don't care if they're talkative or not, so I'm not going to choose one. You don't have to select one or the other on these. You can just leave them blank if you don't want to use them. All right. I want to make sure they have a profile image. Okay, I don't care how popular they are. I don't care if they're verified or not. I do need English speakers because that is the only language I really speak. Let's see. Unlikely offensive. I'm going to choose that one. I'm going to choose this one right here, not in never follow group. Okay, so there's a place where you can tag people as never follow in Manage Flitter. Okay, so if I've put people into that group, I want to make sure that they're not showing up in this search for me to follow. Okay, so I'm going to put them in here. And then another one that I want to use is people that I have never followed. Okay, so if I followed them before and then they haven't followed me back and then I unfollowed them, I don't want to keep following them, right? Because if they didn't follow me back the first time, they're probably not going to do it a second time, and I don't want to annoy them and have them report me. Okay, so I'm going to choose this one as well. It also gives me some other criteria where I can specify how many followers they have, right? I can specify how many tweets they've made and things like that. Okay, so I can actually specify a specific range. Now, most of these I really don't care one way or the other. Account age, I do want them to have an account that's been around for at least a month, right? Because what people do is they'll create like fake accounts and then they'll they only last for a couple weeks and then they get disabled. So I want to make sure that they've been around Twitter for at least a month. Okay, so I'm gonna say 1 month to 10 years plus for account age. Influence, don't care about that. Spam possibility, I'm going to say 20% spam possibility, no more. Okay, so that's pretty much what I want in my filter. Okay, I'm going to click save right here, and when I do that, it's going to ask me to enter a name. I'm going to say Eric Worry, and I'll click save. And what you'll see is when you save one of these, they show up over here on the left. Okay, so you can, with there's different account types. There's a pro account and there's a business account. With a pro account, you can save up to 10 filters at a time. Okay, and with a business account, I think you can save up to 50 filters at a time. Now we just have a pro account, and if we run out of filters here, you can always delete them and create them again. Okay, so that limit isn't just 10 filters period, it's 10 filters at one time. So you can endlessly delete a filter and create them. So it's not really a limit that we worry about. Okay, so now it came back with 1,816 people that match my filters. Okay, so this is plenty of people for me to follow right now. One of the things that you have to keep aware of is sometimes that this will be auto-selected, this advanced select. Okay, this advanced select option is simply for being able to select accounts like this. Okay, or you can just select them all, and then you can save them for processing later. Okay, you can send them to your unfollow group, you can send them to your follow group, and what it will do is it'll send these into another queue for you to manually process later. Or one of the things that Managed Flitter will do is you can actually pay them to do these actions for you. Okay, so that's kind of what this is for. We don't really use this. Okay, we just leave that turned off. So, but just so you know that if all you're seeing is a bunch of check marks here, you don't see an option for follow or unfollow, it's because this is turned on. So you need to turn that off. So now I'm seeing just everybody that fits my criteria. People who are following Eric Worry and all those other filter settings that I created, these are the people that are matching that criteria. So I can see some additional information about them. Okay, when their account was created, how many tweets they've made, right? How many people they are following and how many followers they have. Okay, Now I've got some other options. So in this display section, okay, it basically, what you have is this little slider, okay, and so as you slide it further over to the left or to, I think it actually defaults over here. I like to see it over here, but really it doesn't matter either way because I don't really pay too much attention to the information here. But as you slide it over one way or the other, it's going to show you different information about these accounts. And so even if you have it over here, like the only difference between these two over here is like the size of the picture is pretty much the only difference. I think what it's showing here is their most recent tweet. Okay, so what you can do is you can actually take action on these tweets if you want to like it, if you want to retweet it or reply to it, you can do that from here. As you hover over these accounts, it's going to pop up some more information over on the right. Okay, so you can see their bio, their location, tweets per day. Okay, you can see a bunch of different information. So if you really wanted to go through this and just kind of selectively choose, even after all that filtering you've done, if you want to selectively choose who you follow and who you don't, you can still do that. Okay, right from here. So this one actually looks like a pretty good account to follow, right? So I would click follow on that one. And as you click follow, what it does is it'll follow them, and then it'll remove them from the list and immediately put the next one on top of the list. Okay. Over here on the right, you can see how many people that you've recently followed. Okay, and this is going to be important information later on, and I'll show you why. But as you go through these, like I said, you can still go through here and selectively choose which ones that you follow and which ones you don't. Or you can just click, 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 like this, and keep following people. Now, when you do it this way, okay, you're going to want to stop periodically. Okay, this count over here actually takes a few seconds to update. You don't want to follow more than, I would say, 100 people at a time really fast like that, because if you just rapid follow like hundreds of people at a time, you're going to get flagged by Twitter, and that's not good. Okay, so again, you can kind of count how many people that you're following like this, or you can just kind of take a guess. But watch that little number on the right hand side, okay? Because it takes and the thing is, you got to stop for a minute before it'll update itself. So that's the other thing. See, now I've got 107. Okay, so this is a good place for me to stop and take a rest for 1 or 2 minutes. After 1 or 2 minutes, I can come back and do this whole thing again. All right, so do that 10 times a day, and you will have met the 1,000 people that you can follow limit that Twitter puts on you. So that's how you can follow people, right? That's how you find a very targeted audience on Twitter, and how you get them to follow you back.